introducing our speaker and the founder of the Pacific Northwest Hypnosis Conference, Anthony Gage. So Anthony is a clinical hypnotherapist, mindset coach, and chair of the Certified Counselors and Hypnotherapists Advisory Committee for Washington State. He's based in Seattle, combining advanced hypnotherapy with holistic wellness practices to empower clients in achieving mental clarity and self-mastery. As the author of The Art of Self-Destruction, he promotes personal accountability and transformational change. So everyone, please welcome Anthony Gage.
Thank you, everybody. It is nice to be here today. Is everybody having a good time?
Yeah.
So we've been talking a lot about spiritual connections, higher connections, all that kind of stuff. Now it's the drag thing. And now it's about professional ethics. It's about where we're going in Washington State as a whole, as a profession. And you know, I'm going to start out with a little bit of a story here. When I first got into the work, I think it was about 3 months I had been in practice. I had someone show up at my office, and I always ask people, have since the beginning, how long have they been dealing with their issue, and what have they done in the past to try to make a difference in their life? And if they say hypnosis, I always ask them, I'm curious, you've dealt with this issue with another professional hypnotist in the past, and you're here dealing with me to accomplish the same thing. Why is this? I need to have an understanding of this, right? This has happened, it hasn't happened since COVID, 6 times before COVID. I had multiple people tell me that they were being somewhat successful with the clinicians that they were working with. However, trust and rapport was broken in every one of these situations by a hypnotherapist suggesting more sessions were needed while they were in hypnosis. Wow. My friend Stephanie knows me. I am a freaking rule follower. There are human rules and then there are universal rules, so there's some gray area. But, you know, when it comes to the work that we do, we have an obligation. These people are seeking us out so we can help them be successful, feel good about themselves, to move forward in their lives. We don't do that by suggesting that they can't, number one, do it on their own, because we don't do anything. We are nothing but facilitators. And when we can own and accept that and be proud of that, that's when we are truly going out there and providing the best services that we can provide, right? It's one of the reasons that I wanted to get involved in the Certified Hypnotherapists and Counselors Advisory Board. And I had a lot of people come up and tell me, Mr. Livingston is here today, he's part of the public part of that, right? And I had people coming up and telling me, why are you doing this? You're attracting attention to our industry. We're going to get all of these regulations now and all of these educational things, and it's going to happen to us like it does in Colorado. That's why I'm involved. I love what I do. I love what every one of you do. None of us do the same thing. If we all did, none of us would be working, because the people who come to us are the people who are called to us. And if you're in the industry and you're working, then people are being called to what it is that you do. It is not for me to dictate to you how to work, what techniques to use, or anything else. It is, however, my obligation as a professional in the industry to help self-regulate what others are doing. Because when people are coming to me and saying that these folks are teaching me in this class of hypnotherapy that I'm supposed to suggest additional sessions during a session, that's unethical, right? It's completely unethical. And how we lift each other up is through community, right? What is it that we're doing? I know that my goal is to seed my community with happy, healthy people. When I do that, my community ends up spreading that out to everybody in the community. You can't help but to follow what it is you like, right? This is why we have these presuppositions. The most fluid or the most easily the most flexible person with any system is going to end up ruling the system, right? That's the idea behind that. People are attracted to what it is that they like and how they want to be. So when we are active in our communities and we are professional, we are ethical, and we support one another and the industry as a whole, now we're uplifting everybody, right? This is the idea behind the Pacific Northwest Hypnosis Conference. I am not a party planner, although I have learned how to become one fairly quickly, and it's a big deal. And in Jim, my late business partner and good friend Jim, you know, we built this together because both of us are about other people's success. I know that my purpose on this planet is to help other people to become successful, right? I believe that to my core, and it is what brings me joy, right? I don't have competition. None of you are competition. None of you do what I do. None of you can speak to your clients the way that I speak to my clients. Because if you did, you might get smacked. And you know, and that's because of the rapport that we're able to build, right? I don't build a soft, oh, it's okay, bullshit. When you come into my office, it very clearly states on a wall, whining, blaming, complaining, X. Not allowed. We are responsible for where we are and how we live our lives. When we take responsibility and understand that we get to drive that, that's how we create successful clients, right? And that's how we build up every one of each other, or all of us, as hypnotherapists, because then they get to start to run, this is what hypnotherapy is about. This is the kind of people that we're dealing with. Look at the people in the room with you today. All of you have talked about some sort of spiritual peace, some sort of higher purpose. All people need to feel heard and they need to feel a part of something. That's what we're really good at when we do what it is that we do. When we can open up and create a safe space, we've created those professional boundaries, we've created those ethics, right? And let's talk about scope of practice for a minute. In Washington State, do you all know, as registered hypnotherapists, what your scope of practice is? Anna, I know you do, Anna. Well, you know, it's a very gray area. And this is one of the beautiful things about Washington State registration for hypnotherapy, right? How many of you have on your website the word anxiety? Let's just be honest now. I do. You want to know why? Because if you look up in the ICD now 10, if you look up under stress, guess what's associated with stress? Anxiety. I can say anxiety. I am not treating a general anxiety disorder. I am not treating anxiety. I am treating the symptoms associated with the stress that's related to anxiety, right? But people are looking for keywords, right? So this is where there's this, we have to be careful in the way that we are doing things. We don't treat, right? We don't treat things. We can facilitate, we help with that sort of thing. But in Washington State, we are really blessed in the way that the system is set up. Because we have, let me see, smoking, common areas of focus, and this is right off the website, smoking cessation, stress reduction, healthy relationship, helping with codependency, abusive husbands, wives, alcoholism, all of these things. When we read these things, think about all of the things that are associated with this stuff so we can work with it. What we need to be careful about to keep those ethics and those boundaries in places that we are not doctors, we do not treat, we do not prescribe, we do not do any of those things, right? And where I have seen some people get into trouble is when they start to make promises, number one, and they say, yes, I can treat you for anxiety. Well, that's just a ridiculous statement. You can't be treated for anxiety. Anxiety is something every single person on the planet experiences. It is a natural, everyday, freaking occurrence. We can help people with unhealthy anxiety, overwhelming anxiety, but anxiety is anxiety. When I get up and I speak in front of 300 people at one of the conferences, I'm anxious. I'm not going to go and run behind the counter and cry, though. right? And I'm not gonna say that I need to be treated for anxiety. That anxiety, when we look at that kind of stuff, is exactly what helps me to do better, right? It feeds me. It is what keeps me alert and keeps me in check with what I'm doing, right? So when we can learn how to use all of these things as ways to promote the industry as a whole, we are all going to win. And that's why I just, when I was talking to Danny and to Jody about doing this presentation, I was like, this isn't gonna be a fun, you know, this isn't the funnest thing to talk about, professional ethics and scope of practice and that kind of stuff. But it is really important for us as an industry to remain committed to offering the highest level of service that we can offer, because we want to be able to remain in practice, right? We fall under the same umbrella in Washington as certified counselors and certified advisors. How many of you even know of those credentials? I know you do, some of you do. Here's a really great thing about that, and this is why we have invited them this year to present at the hypnosis program, because this continuum of care that we can offer with just those three groups of people is amazing. How many of the people that come to you, they come to us because they don't want to go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a therapist. They don't want that. But there are some things that are outside of our scope of practice. Who are we going to refer to when these people already don't want to go to that kind of therapy? We refer to certified counselors, we refer to certified advisors, because they are just one kind of notch ahead of us, but they've got the clinical experience, they have got the associate's degree, they're on their way to their master's usually when they're carrying those credentials, right? And so this gives us an opportunity to expand upon what we're doing, help our clients, and in so doing, that then group gets, well, I've got a smoker. Who am I going to send a smoker to? Well, I know all these hypnotherapists, right? I've got somebody who wants to lose weight. I know all these people now that I get. Building community. It's about community. Any healing modality is about building community, in my opinion. Because, you know, it's like with the conference. We have brought people together that would never have come together and never have met. And because of it, they have been able to create collaborations within themselves and create other things that they've been able to expand on and improve their own lives and their own programs. And so I think it's important. I would love every person here. I would love to see you at the conference this year. It is going to be amazing again. I would love to see you as presenters, right? We are all about helping you succeed. If you've got something you want to share with the rest of the industry, please come and apply to present. Come and get involved, right? We're here to support you. We want to see you succeed. I want to see you succeed. It makes me all happy inside, right? Let me tell you, the role of the advisory committee. So how many of you know about the Certified Advisors, Counselor and Advisors Committee? A few of you do. So I will tell you, we have an open position for a hypnotherapist. Now, I'm the chair this year. I was just voted in as the chair. We have an open position on the board for another hypnotherapist. I would love to get some of you involved, even as public members. It's important for you to be able to help us drive the way the industry is going forward, right? We are all about advocacy. We do not make rules. We can suggest rules. We can suggest changes, but we don't get to make any of those things. We advise and we advocate, right? That is our biggest goal this year, is I'm on one of the subcommittees to help with the advocacy of the counselors and the advisors, and then next year we're going to focus on us, right? But when we can work together and if we can all support one another, our industry as a whole in Washington State is going to be much more sustainable. Because I don't know about all of you, I'll be honest. At the beginning of COVID, I was kicking ass. COVID comes along, kind of slowed down. Then the vaccine came out, my business, bam, took off again because of trypanophobia, and I loved it. And then the vaccine kind of tapered out, and now all of a sudden, business, I don't know why, right? For 20 years I've been self-employed, and this year has been tough, right? And I think that if we can all really start working together and start trusting one another and start understanding and creating these relationships with other hypnotherapists, with other people who are in the healing modalities, we are all going to better serve ourselves. Let me see. Oh, this is, how many of you believe it's a better idea to stay out under the radar than it is to be seen and be heard when it comes to your profession and what could happen? There's some interesting thought there, right? Well, here's what I want to tell you. We're already on the radar. You're already on the radar, right? Which is a good thing, because it also means that we're being watched, and the very group that some people are against, that advisory committee, we are there to help you. We are there to support you. Use us, the committee members, use the committee as a resource, right? And I'll tell you something, when you get involved in that sort of thing, there's a new organization that's going to be presented this year at the conference. Jim and I were working on a new Hypnotherapy Association for Washington State for all members. And the reason that we're trying to do this is because when you become a member of an ethical organization that is ethics driven, based on ethics, thank you very much, is what that does is, let's just say there is some sort of disciplinary action taken against you, a complaint made against you, right? If you are a member of an organization that is demonstrating that it is all about ethics and higher standards, you're gonna not be they're gonna look at it a little differently than somebody who's just out there, here, pay my fees every year and I don't belong to any associations. You all belong to an association. It's important to do that because it gives you, why not? Yes, these people are aware of what the ethics are, they're aware of what their standards are. Now we can actually listen to them and hear what they have to say. Whereas if you're not a member of anything, who are you gonna have on your side? Who are you gonna have to step up and say, you know what, I actually kind of know that person. What this discipline is about probably doesn't necessarily, this is more of a client issue and not understanding how to relate with clients than it is about a client having an actual problem with hypnotherapy, right? And this is where that kind of stuff will help you out so you are better protected as well, right? Does anybody have any questions for me?
I do. I'm just like beginning of my interests and stuff. I'm not accredited yet, but I would like to start to make those connections.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something I can talk to you about? Or
Absolutely.
Small.
No, I mean, yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely. Anytime. In fact, I'll give you one of my cards and give me a call. I can. I know a lot of people in the industry. I've spoken in Spain. I've spoken in the UK. I facilitate trainings. I facilitate practitioner forums every month, 5 hours a month. People come, we talk about things, and then we talk about their business as well. I am committed to every one of you. If anybody here ever needs anything, I am definitely open to take your call and to help you be as successful as you possibly can be.